Hello, on this day, as we've all been anticipating the Duke and Duchess of Sussex in New York. So, Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, have made their much anticipated return to the Big Apple this week to mark an inaugural event for their nonprofit. Talk about a takeover, and they're championing a cause that is close to both their hearts. Firstly, Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, had a surprise Brooklyn outing for World Mental Health Day. On Tuesday, the Sussexes visited the Marcy Lab School, an alternative to college-based education in the New York City borough. Founded in 2019, the rigorous one-year tuition-free program prepares young adults for financially rewarding careers in the tech field, trying to change the way young Black and brown students get top jobs in the tech sector. Walking into the facility, Meghan wore a special Letterman jacket that was gifted to her by a group of students during her final solo engagement as a working royal in 2020. And Meghan told the group, quote, "We are happy to be back in New York City." So upon their arrival on Tuesday, the couple were given a tour of the facility by the co-founders of the school. They were then invited to take part in a roundtable with alumni. Speaking to a small group of students, Harry talked about the importance of relying on one another, saying, quote, "Everyone's got their own story, a reason for being here. Your life is still going to be filled with complications and challenges. And if one of you starts to go quiet, doesn't show up, you need to find out why," end quote. And he also told them, quote, "And remember to have fun. It has to be fun," end quote. So Prince Harry also asked them, what excites you the most and scares you the most about the online world? And then he and Meghan listened to their answers. And then Meghan also said, quote, "I think my husband was asking about online spaces because it's a place where so much community can be built, but there's also so much vulnerability. There's a lot of saturation, and as parents, we can be hopeful knowing that your bright minds are at work, knowing that they will be seen, valued, and growing in the right direction." At the end of the outing, a group of students gravitated to chat with Harry while Meghan posed for photos with some young women. So the co-founders were asked about the couple's visit, and this was a great quote. "They were so cool and down to earth. I just hope they know how much it meant to us." Harry came in with questions and targeted feedback, and we had to pull him out of the classes because he just wanted to spend as much time pouring into the fellows and saying motivational words. Meghan too. So Zohaib Manzoor, who is an alumni, told people, quote, "They were really listening to everything we had to say, the questions they were posing afterward. It really seemed like they were internalizing the things that we were saying, our stories. They did a really great job with that. They were really positive, and you could see from their facial expressions, they were really excited to be there as well. And they had a lot of joy in them. They made me feel super welcome," end quote. So a lot of images as well were taken of the event. It seems everyone was so happy to be in their presence, genuine smiles, and just the love. You could feel it permeating from the images that we saw. And of course, Meghan having that jacket that she was gifted back in 2020. I'm sure that the students who gave it to her are just so touched by that fact. So yes, I love all of the pictures. Meghan looking amazing in, the jacket and an all black ensemble, and Prince Harry in a coat and a white button-down shirt, as well as some khaki trousers. And they are just so happy there together. And some of you were also commenting and saying that Meghan looks so young. She could be one of the students anywhere. And Prince Harry right there with her fitting in. And I love the image with them all having peace signs all around Prince Harry. They just look right at home. And yes, all the images are so heartwarming. So now we move on to the summit. On Tuesday, the couple hosted the first ever in-person event for the foundation, set to coincide with World Mental Health Day. The event is the Parents Summit Mental Wellness in a Digital Age, and it zoomed in on parents navigating mental health challenges in today's digital age. It gave voice to families who are passionate about building a safer online world for children and teens. So the conversation also explored how communities both globally and locally are creating positive change and supporting one another in developing solutions to empower families and uplift collective mental well-being. Poignantly, the summit featured parents who have experienced tragic loss connected to their child's social media use. Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, have been working with the parents involved in this week's event behind the scenes, and that was according to People. The families were engaged with the couple's foundation for the past year, bolstering community and driving towards solutions. Together, they are united in their mission to share personal experiences, data, and research to ensure the same does not happen to other families. And that was a statement from Harry and Meghan's spokesperson. So the Sussexes participated in the summit alongside Surgeon General Vivek Murthy in a conversation moderated by Carson Daly, a board member of Project Healthy Minds. I watched a short interview with him a bit earlier in the day, and he seemed to be very much so looking forward to having a chance to sitting down, especially with Harry and Meghan, as mentioned them by name. So this summit is part of Project Healthy Minds' second annual World Mental Health Day Festival. The nonprofit is a longtime partner of Harry and Meghan's foundation. Mental health, as we all know, has also been a focus of Harry and Meghan's work, and Harry's work as a working member of the royal family. So after a warm welcome, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex thanked the parents who they met. The Duke said that he thanked all the parents, the mothers, the fathers that have been there with them, not only there, but physically on the journey with them for the last year.
We know it's not hard. We know it's not easy for you guys to be here, so thank you very much. In answer to your question, Carlson, if I can answer it, I think once we started to realise how many people, how many families, how many parents there were in the US, but also around the world, that have suffered the greatest loss, we've quickly realised that there was no one really in this space.
The Duchess also said that she had met some of the families a year ago, and it was impossible to not be in tears, even after hearing the stories repeatedly. She also spoke about social media and the impact that it is having. She shared her concerns, speaking about online safety being a priority for them and also for her specifically as a mom. She said this quote, "Being a mom is the most important thing in my entire life. Outside, of course, being a wife to this one," she said. And I love this clip. Let me just share this with you here.
Thank you. Being a mom is the most important thing in my entire life, and outside, of course, being a wife to this one. But I will say, I feel fortunate that our children are at an age, again, quite young, so this isn't in our immediate future. But I also feel frightened by how it's continuing to change, and this will be in front of us. As they say, being a parent, the days are long, but the years are short. So it worries me, but I'm also given a lot of hope and a lot of energy by the progress we've made in the past year, being able to have these incredible parents, these survivors of this experience, to share their stories. It allows us to...
I absolutely love the look on Prince Harry's face. He is like, I approve this message. But on a more serious note, Meghan did say that she felt, quote, fortunate that her children were at an age where they were quite young, so it wasn't in their immediate future, the concern about online safety. And, you know, she wants there to be some change. And of course, she gave that quote. But she should not be worried, I'd say. Let's just have hope. And I think that she also spoke about that she has been given a lot of energy and hope by the progress that has been made in the past year. So Meghan also spoke about the burden not being solely on parents, but on social media platforms. And there has to be better solutions, she said, in quotes. So they did speak from the heart, and you know, the families there also shared their personal experiences. I think there are a couple of images here where you can see such a visceral look on both Harry and Meghan's faces as they listened to those who talked about how they went through the ultimate loss, in quotes, as Prince Harry said. Meghan also spoke about how Harry and herself have been championing online safety. She spoke about how, her and Harry have been doing that in the US, and Prince Harry specifically in his home country, as Meghan said. And you can tell that this is something for them that truly resonates with them. They have been subjected to, online harassment, the vitriol, especially that Meghan was put through, and Harry, having to step his wife back, his family back from a very toxic atmosphere. Not only the social media space, but what we've seen with the tabloids, and how that also has a ripple effect onto the online spaces, like the social media platforms, and of course their own websites, which you click on and they monetize that hate. So this is something that I think is a passion project yet again for this couple, and they have found a way to basically have this community where the voices that have been impacted the most, those parents, can speak quite loudly, because as Meghan said, social media is not going away. But for these families to share their stories, perhaps there can be some progress, some changes. There will be a call for action, especially on behalf of these platforms, so that, as Meghan said, they can create better parental controls and the guardrails. So yes, share your thoughts on all of this news. And as a by the way, I've got to say, love the teamwork between Prince Harry and Meghan. The support that they have for each other is so palpable, and everyone just loves being around them and the love that they have for each other. You can always tell when you're seeing a show being put on. They truly do love each other, even in those moments where they have these very lighthearted and jokey moments, and Meghan remembers to say, being a wife is very important. You can see that there's just that playful energy between the both of them that Harry spoke about. And of course, they are truly in love. They love each other and they're committed to each other. So I loved sharing this with you. Share your highlights and standouts in these clips in the comment section below. So today we said we would uplift faves. It was their Big Apple takeover. Everyone is out to see them, and they had a great crowd out there. And the press too were in tow to cover the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And what a warm reception in New York. Just so fantastic to see the wall-to-wall coverage of them there in the lead up as well, like the Today Show covering all the ramping up to the actual event, having interviews with the surgeon, the US Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy, and he of course talked about the impact, the importance of World Mental Health Day. And, he was specific on his target to increase access to care for young people and college-age students who struggle with depression, anxiety, loneliness, and isolation. And you know what? He said something that was so standout as he was talking about what was going to be happening in the day. He talked about what he had witnessed in the rise of depression amongst young people and college-age students. And he talked about how the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and himself would be tackling the specific topic of how parents have had their children impacted negatively through social media. And as he highlighted the specific topic of not only depression, anxiety, but more on them struggling with loneliness and isolation, which are two very specific points. On the specific topic of loneliness and isolation, when he was asked about young people and how sometimes their parents see children on phones or on other devices throughout the day, and the parents naturally assuming that meant that the children had, a connection around them or some kind of community. And in fact, this was such a mic drop statement. He talked about how it's not the amount of followers that someone has online or the type of platform they've built that determines whether or not they feel alone, and said that being lonely is not about the amount of people one has around them, but the quality of the connections that someone has. As talk about a mic drop statement. And what's absolutely touching about Dr. Vivek and his story? That this topic is not only specialized to, say, young people, or as he had also talked about, college-age students, but also those who are young at heart, especially after the pandemic, with all of that isolation and people just staying alone for prolonged periods of time. Some people found themselves, even after all of the lockdowns were over, feeling a sense of isolation, even if they were surrounded by people. And he was asked about that, and he was open. And it was quite refreshing to hear his candor that he himself, with, his position as U.S. Surgeon General, had struggled with his mental health. He talked about struggling with it from a young age, from the small things like going to school cafeteria and sitting alone, to him bringing it all the way back to his major career. And he said quite openly that he had, in that position in his life, neglected to foster his friends and family connections. And he said that when his stint as Surgeon General ended, he realized that he did not have his work community, and he had also neglected the friends and family that he had in his life. And he also talked about his commitment to build a people-centered life. So that's a huge lesson I think a lot of people can draw from. It's great to go after career and, go after the personal goals and all that, but to have that strong quality of community around you, it's just so important. It's truly such a beneficial thing for anyone to have, just people in their lives that they can be open with, who can hear them out, who have their best interests at heart. So how refreshing to hear someone in that position talking about that as well. And also, by the way, a quick outfit check for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. They looked fantastic, so glamorous together. And Meghan in that all-white off-shoulder ensemble, she looks amazing. Outfit, she looks fantastic. And recently we've been seeing her wearing a lot of white, so I kind of thought she might stay in that palette, and it works for her so well. And her signature hairstyle, some loose hair to frame her face, and an updo that is just so casual but chic at the same time. And Prince Harry in that suit. Talk about upgrade. This man is a new man when it comes to his wardrobe. Loving the suit that he is wearing, that navy blue with a matching tie and a sky blue dress shirt. Looks crisp. He's been, and we know we've seen him in Dior a couple of times. It could be, I'm just putting that out there, no confirmation as of yet, but he looks amazing. Both of them just fantastic together. So share your thoughts in the comment section below on all this. I would love to know your thoughts. As always, before we log off, a very special thank you to all who support this channel financially, to all my Patreon, PayPal, and membership supporters. I'd like to give a very sincere thank you and shout a couple of you out here by name. A special thank you to Nutty Doctor. God bless you. Thank you so much for how you've been so generous towards my work. Thank you. Thank you. A very special thank you as well to you, Valerie Sedeno. Thank you for choosing to support this channel through becoming a member. Your giving is so meaningful and I value you. You have been such a boost. Thank you. And now a very special thank you to those who gave during the last live. Thank you so much to you, Elaine Babb. You are such a tremendous blessing to this channel, and you've been so supportive throughout the years. God bless you exceedingly abundantly above all you could ever ask or think. Thank you. And also a special thanks to those who gave through Super Thanks. Thank you to you, Sandra Hill 4465. Thank you. I appreciate you for your love and your support for my work here. Thank you for that generosity. God bless. Thank you to Black Queen as well. You are always such a tremendous blessing to my work here. You go above and beyond, and you're also one of the channel moderators here. Thank you so very much for your kindness. You are such a blessing. I love you. So once again, thank you to all who support this channel financially. Share your thoughts on all this below. And if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Click that subscribe button. I would appreciate that. Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a blessed one.